You only pay the interest rate while you are in school. That's one thing you should know. Hello, guys. Welcome to MahdiGiboLifeAbroad channel. On this channel, we discuss scholarship opportunities, international conferences, and international jobs. If any of this interests you, kindly subscribe to the channel. So today's video, we are going to look at, as you've seen from the title, how you can use loans to finance your education in the US or Canada. Okay. Um, I just want you to have your pen by your side, your book, while I'll be explaining so that you won't miss out anything, or maybe you can watch this video repeatedly for you to learn all what I'm going to say here today. I am so happy to actually share this with you guys. For those of us who are hungry to move to other parts of the world, especially countries like US and Canada, through education routes. Okay. Um, so this is actually interesting. So I just want you guys to see it while I'll be explaining everything you need to know about student loans and how they can help you, how they can change your life, and what are some of the myths people have about student loans. It's actually going to take us some time for me to be able to explain everything here. But if you actually listen till the end of this video, the fact that if you've opened this video already means that first of all you are ready to make your way out of your own country, to make your dream come true. Okay. First of all, I like to list few companies, international companies that gives loans to students um, for them to study countries like US, okay, and Canada. Um, so I have done due diligence to actually write some of these things I'm going to say, so I won't miss out anything. Okay, we have, of course, the first one. Um, we have 8B Education Investment, where I am an affiliate. So I want to mention that first on the list. We have Empower Financing, which most people know about, started back 2014. I'm quite sure that's right. And 8B just started, I think, 5 years back. But last year, 20, in fact, this year, 2023, I think that will be like the first year they're actually going to sponsor student full year. I mean, okay. Whilst Empower now has been there, and the other one is Prodigy Finance. Prodigy Finance, owned by um, um, people in India, and just like Empower as well, students from international students from India who went to study in the US and see that there is need. They went what they went through, the struggles. They see that there is need for them to start something like this, providing financial assistance to international students who are seeking um, education abroad, who are seeking higher education but don't have the resources to do so. Same way as 8B Education Investment. Of course, the founder is someone from Africa. Um, who, for her, of course, was fortunate, I would say, to go to attend universities higher, and I mean top universities in the US. So, anyways, so I don't want to take you into the history of these people, rather than giving you um, the things you should know. You know, so I want you guys to relax while I'll be explaining. Now, I want you to know that, and this is where I'm going to end, but I just want to start there. That studying in countries like US or Canada require certain things. You need to have sufficient fund, and you need to show and prove that you have liquid capital and not like assets. I mean, there is money there already for you to study in these countries. Okay. And the other one, you have very strong home ties. So it means that you have something to show that I'm not going there to sit after my studies, after my visa, my student visa expires, or before my student visa expires, the duration of my visa, after that time, I should be back in my own country to develop my country, because the consulars, I mean, the visa officers, or from it's a law, of course, all um, students are potential immigrants. So you have to tell the consular that, yes, I'm coming back to my country. Now, moving away from that, let's go back to the loans, because this is the area I'm going to end. Now, for you to apply, so basically, I'm going to talk about the two loans I'm going to discuss here: HB Education Investment and Empower simultaneously. So let's discuss um, HB Education Investment. Yes. So for HB Education Investment, it's basically for Africans. Okay, it's basically for Africans. Um, some of the basic criteria you need to meet for you to get um, loan from HB. One, so these things I'm just going to think top of my head, and I know because I've been through the system. I've obtained loan from this company, so like I'm an example, so I know exactly what I went through. So one thing is that you need to have a minimum GPA of 3.0. You need to have been admitted in one of the universities which HB Education Investment partner with. So there are specific universities HB Education Investment partner with in the US. Okay, so you have to apply to this university, get your offer letter, admission letter. Then you meet the minimum criteria of having a GPA of 3.0. And the only sponsor, I need to say this, STEM related courses. And the reason for that is when you study STEM related course like science, mathematics, these course STEM related course, and business. Yes. When you study these courses, business, I mean STEM related, because you have what to call, even MBA, you have STEM like. Okay. When you study these courses within in the US, so basically I'm not going to talk about US, okay? So when you study these courses, what happens after your study period? You have what we call OPT, meaning optional practical training, which most often I think is like 3 years. So you have like that 6 months to stay in the US, basically to practice what you have studied. So these loan companies see that as an opportunity for you to be able within that 3 years, basically be able to pay back your loan. That's if you choose to pay everything. I know most times, so let's go into the application process of getting this loan. I'm going to be carried by, So when you meet this criteria, all you have to do first, you just go to HB Education Investment platform. Okay, I will leave the link in the description, in the comment section, for you to just use that and check your eligibility and apply. It's actually very simple. But before you go to these companies, be sure, okay, yes, of course, go to the company, check the website, and see the universities that they partner with. So before you apply for the loan, you need to, first of all, apply to these universities. Of course, I won't give you the list. I'll just leave the link for you to check for yourself, do yourself due diligence. If you don't know how to do it, after listening to all what I'm going to say, reach out to me, leave your comment, and I will guide you through. Okay? So now the application process is actually simple. And always, if you are a student, you are someone that is determined to study, out of your own country, one of the documents you should have is your passport. So you have your passport. Sorry, guys. So you have your passport. You have your credential. I mean, like your transcript, because they have to verify. They have to see that yes, of course, you have a 3.0 GPA. You have your certificate. Of course, you're going to upload your, if you're working, even if you're not working, your CV or resume. So basically, some of these are the documents that you need. You need your resume or CV, you need your passport, you need your academic credentials. And the thing is that these companies don't require any cosigner. I mean, HB Education Investment and Empower. A cosigner is someone who steps in, it's like a guarantor, and sign on your behalf, you know, so that in case you are unable to pay, this guarantor will be held responsible. Why? 8B, because they believe, as someone going for a master's degree student, and I should emphasize that. So these companies only support a maximum of 2 years period. So if you are going for a study program which is within 2 years, you are going to be sponsored. Okay. So master's student and even PhD, if you are onto your final year and you need any of these loans, they are ready to fund you. So like PhD more like 4 years. So if you completed 2 years and you need like 2 years tuition, then you are eligible. So that's one thing again I should highlight. So a maximum of 2 years period, your course of study. Okay. So now once you have all these documents, you open the link, just any normal application, you apply, and the next thing they will tell you, they will process your application and they will get back to you via email if your loan has been approved, and they will tell you your loan has been approved. So it's actually a very streamlined process for you to apply for this loan. You get the loan. Now, before we go into after getting the loan, let me come back to Empower and explain about Empower. For Empower now, basically, it's not like you need to have 3.0. No, Empower does not look like that. Does not look like look at that rather. Okay. Empower does not look at your GPA 3.0 whatsoever. What they are concerned about, few of the things, and of course, these people have to look at your documents and see that yes, one, uh, you have completed a bachelor's degree, just like the same documents, you need them as well for Empower loan. Your transcript, your degree certificate, you need your resume or CV, you need your passport. Okay, so the same thing again. Empower support like they partner with about 400 plus universities within US and Canada. So for 8B now, for now, at the time of recording this, they are basically sponsoring students just to go to US because they are just coming up, so they have to establish themselves. So whilst for Empower now, basically they support both US and Canada. But the reason why I'm more focused on US because I know the educational system, and I have like I've been admitted to many universities within the US, got partial funding as well before actually going for HB Empower and HB Education Investment Loan. Okay, so I need to actually. So when I'm talking, I'm more focused on the US. Now for Empower as well, I will leave the link, of course. You go for Empower, you have what to call like a pre-assessment. They will ask you which university you've applied to, when do you want to start your study, what kind of program are you going to study. So you have some basic questions you need to answer when you open the website. And they will tell you, congratulations, you are eligible for loan. You can move further to do your application. And it doesn't take long. I think within 30 minutes or so, if you have all the documents with you, you can apply for the loan. And once they review your documents and see that you meet the criteria, like you've uploaded your documents correctly, and of course you receive an offer letter So which is why I told you, you don't have to apply directly to the these companies. You first have to apply to the university. And if you don't know how to apply to this university, maybe you've not done that. I have created a video, which of course I'm going to leave the link as well. Just copy that and open that in a new tab. Okay, just highlight the link and right click, then open that in a new tab. You should be able to watch that, how to apply to any university. Just search for the university or your program. Simple. I'll not go into that. Okay, now you have the loan. For you to get this loan, it's actually very simple. For 8B, before after approving your loan, they have to do what we call an interview. So they will do an interview, ask you a series of questions, more like the interview question for your visa. Okay. So now, so you apply to this university. The university will give you an offer letter. Now we have one document that you need for you to apply for a visa, and that's the I-20. The I-20 is a certificate of eligibility, okay, for non-immigrant students or something, okay, certificate of eligibility to show that you are a bona fide student that is yearning to study in that particular university. It means that you are eligible to apply, to study in this particular university. So they'll give you what we call I-20. But before the university gives you what we call the I-20, they need to see that you have the financial capability to fund your education within the university, considering the expenditures, the expenses in terms of um, the tuition, your living, everything. They need to see that you have sufficient fund to fund your education in that particular university before they give you the I-20, which you need to apply for your visa. So what happens with this loan, once you have received your offer and now you need to have your I-20 from the university, once your loan has been approved, what they will do, they will give you what we call support letter. You use the support letter to just you send that based on the university portal. You send that to the university and the university will look at it. These universities work with this loan, so they know them. You are not the very first person. They've worked with other students as well that have taken these loans, so they know. So once they see that document that in your name we are supporting these students, your loan has been approved with this amount, and they know that the amount is enough to cater for your expenses, okay, definitely they will grant you, they will give you your I-20. Now once you have your I-20, the next thing you have to do is just to apply for your visa. Now coming to the application of the visa, of course you apply, you pay your service fee, which is $350. Then you pay for your visa interview. You have to pay for your visa appointment, which is I guess 185 now, I guess. I hope I'm not missing that. I hope I'm not missing that. Anyways, you check that yourself. Okay, so you apply. So let's say now, let's talk about what are the things, what are some of the questions most of you will have. Often when I discuss loans with colleagues, like some people will ask me, how am I going to pay the loan back? The moment you ask me that question, it means in my mind what I'm thinking now. First of all, you are not qualified for the loan. And the reason for that, as someone as old as you are, you don't have a structured plan. Okay, Empower gives a maximum of $100 for a lifetime as a loan, just for you to fulfill your dream. Now, you as the individual, you're above maybe 20, because imagine you're going for masters. I'm quite sure few people maybe from other countries that will go for masters below 20 years. I don't know if there is anyone, I'm quite sure, maybe few. Now, they're expecting you to know exactly what you are doing. So, for you to even tell me or ask me how am I going to pay the loan makes it seem like you're not even qualified. You disqualify yourself. You need to have a plan. And what are some of these things? So I'm going to give you some tips for some of you. If you are working, you have a job. All you need to do is to request from your employer what we call a study leave. And the thing about this loan, let me just tell you. Yes, maybe let's say, okay, $100. Let's think of the maximum $100 has been given to you. So this money is not given to you directly. They will send it to the school, and the school will certify the amount that you need. So let's say if I have loan, Empower has approved me for like $90,000. What happens? They will send that information to the university for them to certify your expenses. So maybe the amount you need is actually not up to that. So maybe the university will certify like for the period for the 1 year, say $76,000. So based on that, Empower now is going to use that to determine your interest. And for Empower, of course, they have what we call fixed interest rates, same as HB education investment. So it means that in your lifetime, there will never be a fluctuation in terms of interest. So if you are to pay 12.98% or 13.98% of your loan of the amount that has been disbursed, and that's the key, you know. So the amount that has been disbursed. So let's say if my program is 2 years and Empower has only disbursed for this semester, like let's say $50,000. So they are going to base your interest rate based on that amount that is disbursed and not the total. That's one thing you should know. So at the end of this video, I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to be behind the camera to actually show you the amount, like, okay, I was approved for like $50,000 to show you the amount you'll be paying and the period. Empower lifetime is 10 years. So while you are in school, you are only allowed to pay the interest rate, not the principal. So you know the principal is like the 50. So what happens with Empower, the moment you apply, once your loan is approved, they are going to add 5% for processing your application and all of that. So that amount is your, like, they basically label it as the original fee, like. So they are going to add that as your basic. So based on that amount now, they will determine your interest for them to know how much you are going to pay when you are done with your course. So you only pay the interest rate while you are in school. That's one thing you should know. And the amount that you have to pay, except maybe if you take something like, let's say, even though you won't take up to 200, let's say maximum $100. So even if it is $100, okay, the amount you pay, I bet you won't go up to $1,200 or $1,300. And you may see that money as something that is huge, but you really have to be smart enough when it comes to loan. And I'm just going to give you some tips basically for you to understand the whole process. For some of you that have, that don't have any idea about this, and you may be feeling like you should not even ask me how am I going to pay this loan, or if the consular asks you how you are going to pay the loan. You as a master's student going out, moving away from the country to study, it should be logical and you should be able to think out of the box. So let's say you don't have any business, but you have employment. Okay. Now, you are coming back. And imagine you are going to have a degree from well accredited, a degree from a university like from a country like United States, when coming back, whether you have to come back to your country, let's just focus you coming back to your country. Trust me, the levels are going to be different. The potential for you to earn higher, depending on the program, is going to be different. So that's one thing you should know. Okay. So I'm just going to read out some figures here, basically for you to see, and maybe by the end of this video, I will show you how it looks like. So estimated repayment schedule and terms. I have to pay this loan, the one I told you just now, 136 month loan term, 136 months. So out of this, at a rate 12.99%. So from August 31, 2024 to November the 30th, 2025, I'll be paying $522, 522 monthly. So this is basically the interest rate, because at this time I will still be in school. Like 522. How are you going to pay this money? The amount the university will put, like the estimate for your living expenses, for your accommodation, is way more or enough for you to even take some part of this money to pay your loan, to pay your monthly interest rate. It's very simple. Some university, okay, for me, in my own case, like Carnegie Mellon University, this is my F1, as you can see. This is my F1, okay? Now, so like for the living expenses, like $6,000, like $6,000. Imagine, what am I going to do with that money? There is no way I'm going to use all that money, except if you want to be extravagant and you're on loan. So even if you don't have a job, you don't have a business, for you to convince the consular how you're going to pay this loan, tell the consular that it's actually simple. The money the university has certified for me is way more than what I may be using or I will be using. Especially like living expenses, because this is an amount that you can control. This is under your control. I'm not talking about your tuition. Your tuition is going to be removed from your loan. It's going to be taken from your loan. Okay? I mean, your living expense, your accommodation, even your accommodation, they will put something like maybe 6,000, 7,000, depending on the area where you are. Okay? Then your rentage, you have to sublease. So you have to be critical. You're not going to take a whole apartment. You're on you're on a loan, so you have to be saving some amount. So what these consulants need from you is for them to know that you have a strategy to pay back this loan. Now, if you have a business, that's going to help. If you have some savings that you saved and you can provide a bank statement for that, tell them that I have been saving this amount. And for the first 5 or 6 month period, I'll be using this money to pay my interest. For the principal, of course, they need to see that you have a strong home ties. This is where maybe a business or assets or family property that you have that you are going to take care of. Maybe your father is running a particular business and they need you. You need to advance your career so that you can come back and take over. Let's say a farm or something, whatever. Or let's say an employment. The company has given you what we call a study leave. So most likely you are coming back to your country, a stable job. So because they know you are coming back, this is more like your home ties or any family tie you can give. Anyways, I will not dive deep into the visa, but I guess that's like one of the things most students have been refused because you basically don't know, you don't have a strategy on how to pay. You just go there, okay, I have loan, this, that. How are you going to pay? You can't give any sufficient information to convince the consolers. So some of the things you should be thinking about. Without any job within the US, and in fact, international students are allowed to work 20 hours per week on campus job. Okay? On campus job. So even though that money is not yet in your hands, which is why the idea of you taking part of your money, like your living expenses, to be paying your monthly um, interest makes so much sense, especially for the first 1 or 2 months. If you can tell that to the consular, while in that process, while you are within that moment, let's say after a month or two, you have been able to get what? A job, which will supplement what you have, whatever you have. And if you have a business or you have any savings, you can say that as well. Okay? So it's actually very, very simple. You don't need to be afraid whether it is going to be accepted. And for the loan part, trust me, they will give you the loan once you meet this minimum criteria. But most students, those who have gone for loans and got denied because you can't give a clear answer, especially in terms of the loan. And denying you a visa does not only depend on the loan, maybe you don't even have a strong home ties. You're not telling the consular that this is what. In fact, maybe every question you answer, you should be able to mention something that has to relate with your country. Maybe your family, your mom, whatsoever close relative, or a job, or a potential job that you are going to take. So something like that. So this is actually key. So I just to make things look better for you. Not everybody, even those that even the those that are within the US, I mean like citizens, not everybody pays for their kids to go to school. Students graduate from university with loans. I may be wondering why. So this is actually something that is common. In fact, loan is so how do I say? It is one of the most satisfying financial support. The reason for that, they can't back out easily. Like they don't back out easily. Maybe your uncle has promised to pay for you. You go to US and something happens. You won't be able to pay again. At the end of the day, you are going to be in trouble. Or even if your dad has a business or something, business can collapse. But this loan, they work with banks, and it's very difficult for a bank to run out of cash. So if you are doing your own part, if you are playing your role well, that's not, in fact, what this loan company says, we will be responsible for your finances. You focus on your study. That's the thing you should know. So if you're someone that you've worked, and I'm not encouraging you for you to go and take loans. What I'm telling you is that let's say you've applied for different scholarship, yet you are finding it difficult to get one, and you want to pursue your career, knowing that getting a master's is going to change your future. Coming back even to your home country, you are going to be someone that is different. You must have seen within your community or around someone with just a master's in your own country, how their lives have been transformed. Because everybody is now getting, let's say, bachelor. So it's now becoming like, um, for me in my country, I would say NPS, National Primary School examination. So you have to be strategic, which is why even when you apply to the university, try to apply to a university that at least will offset part of your cost. Any amount is not small. Be it they give you a scholarship, $2,000, $5,000, whatever amount. That's the first thing you should mention to the consular when they ask you about who is going to fund your studies. I have received this scholarship from this, and the remaining part is going to be I have taken a loan from this company to this company. So you need to have a strategy on how. It's not like when we talk of $100 or when we talk of $50, you are going to be paying 2,000. No. So you have first of all, you have to believe in yourself. And most of you, like I'm talking about people I have associated with. You have some of us, when we want to do things, we have to ask like 100 people for them to give us advice. If Mr. X is afraid of taking a particular venture and you ask Mr. X for an advice, what do you think will be the result? He will just say, don't. Is that not so? So you are matured enough, you are going for a graduate study, you are going to move out of your country, and most of the things you'll be doing it yourself. You need to know what is good for you because at the end of the day, your future lies in your hands. No matter how someone helps you, if you don't take the venture to help yourself, it will be very difficult for you. Imagine getting a master's degree from one of the best universities within the US, a renowned university. And not just like that, you have hands on experience. Coming back to your home country, trust me, no matter where you are, and this is one thing I need you guys to know, no matter where you are in this world, if you have the expertise, people will find you. And now, internet has made it very easy. You can be on LinkedIn, find jobs, you can do freelancing jobs, depending on the type of profession. If it does not require you to be on site, once you know what you are doing, they will hire you and they will pay you. So that's the thing. It's about believing in the type of degree you are going for. Once you have that belief, trust me, I see success in your way to your study abroad journey. So there's nothing like for you to be afraid. But you must be wary. And I must tell you this, that it's basically your last option. And your last option does not mean you have to wait like 10 years. You have to keep trying for 10 years. Because time is money. Time is very important. Okay? So think of that and make a better decision. But just know that a loan is not something that is bad. In fact, what I have noticed when I worked with 8P Education Investment, there are things I have learned, even how to spend my money, because there's a course you have to do. You must be able to pass that course so they know that you know how to use your finances. They teach you something, they change your narratives. So you know, when in fact you are studying and you know you are alone, it gives you more motivation for you to do better. That's one thing you should know. So don't always wait. Don't keep waiting. Make use of the opportunity because time is now. There's no better time to start. Do yourself due diligence. Sit and see. If I get this loan, if I go for this interview, prepare well. And if you need any advice on this interview stuff, I will guide you. Okay? So, guys, so far, if you be able to learn anything from what I have said, please consider just sharing this video and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend this video to other viewers out there who may be interested. So, and I want to leave you with this, that there is no better time to start. You start today, and by the time you know it, you are there. There are people who have taken this and got accepted. And today they are fulfilling their dreams. They've paid off their loans. They are living the life of their dreams. So what are you waiting for? Do yourself due diligence. The best driver is yourself. Okay, guys? I wish you the very best. Any question you have about this, please leave them in the comment section and I will respond to them. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. So as I have promised, what I'm going to do, if you're actually interested in this, I don't mind having like a Zoom meeting with you for me to give a personal guidance in the process of you obtaining your loan and of course going for your visa. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.